Coming up on Ag Week TV.
I'm Jeff Beach. We'll catch you up on some of the main issues being discussed at Minnesota's Farmfest.
The Castleton ethanol plant suffered a big loss with the recent death of its COO. We talk with owner Gary Farraldson.
This is the best time of year for people who like their produce straight from the farm.
And a South Dakota elevator takes a drastic measure to fill a serious labor shortage. Welcome to Ag Week TV. I'm Emily Beal. Around 30,000 farmers and producers attend Minnesota's largest farm show each year. Farmfest took place again this week in central Minnesota. New products, demonstrations, and timely ag issues were all on the docket. Our Jeff Beach was there and has more.
The Farm Bill is something that affects all commodity groups, and many of those groups were represented at a Farmfest panel discussion on the Farm Bill and the upcoming negotiations. The panelists were in agreement that commodity groups need to work together to make the Farm Bill as successful as it can be for all of agriculture.
The Farm Bill can't be about picking winners and losers. It's got to be just about doing the right thing by everybody, that you're not saying, I am going to favor this group or that group. We're just going to do right by everybody.
American Soybean Association board member George Goblish is concerned about diversifying soybean export markets.
The MAP and FMD programs are truly the gateway into new countries. And right now it's just short funding. We're asking to double those two programs.
Terry Wolters of the National Pork Producers wants this farm bill to do a better job of being ready for disease outbreaks among livestock.
African swine fever is in the Dominican, and that's the closest it's been in the Western Hemisphere since the 70s. So we really are counting on USDA to support us.
American Farm Bureau Scott Vanderwall says one issue is a clear priority.
The thing we hear our members saying more than anything else is protect crop insurance. Make sure that that's preserved. Crop insurance is a federal program that works, it's efficient, and it does its job by keeping people in business when they really need it.
Reducing risk is one of the goals of the Farm Bill. Risk and volatility in the ag markets was the topic of another discussion at Farmfest. Kent Beadle of CHS Hedging talked about the invasion of Ukraine and says it's going to take a lot more than a piece of paper to get grain shipped out. Beadle calls the recent agreement with Russia very difficult to execute, and he doesn't think shipments in and out of Black Sea ports will happen.
There's also risk from the insurer's standpoint that are going to make costs to get grain out of Ukraine very expensive. And so it's probably not going to be the kind of quantity that the UN would hope for.
What about the quality of the grain coming out of Ukraine?
Right now, there's a lot of grain that was essentially in ship holds, and it's been there for about 5 months. Most of that was corn. We think that it's likely going out of condition, which means that it's going to be off grade and need to find a home at some maybe non-traditional spots, also making it a little more difficult and a little more timely and costly to get that grain moved.
Ag Week will have more from Farmfest near Redwood Falls, Minnesota, later in our show.
Thanks, Jeff. The farm and agribusiness labor shortage forced the Farmers Co-op elevator in Rossholt, South Dakota, to hire outside contractors to fill their summer labor needs. It's a town of about 430 people in northeast South Dakota. The elevator handles around 10 million bushels of grain a year. In addition, they offer full-service agronomy. They have 20 full-time employees and about 10 seasonal. In the past, they've paid about $20 an hour for seasonal drivers. But with difficulty finding employees this spring, they raised it to $30. They still had no response, so they hired outside trucking firms to fill the gaps. It was expensive, but elevator manager Brad Tengen thinks the ag labor problem is only going to get worse.
In these small towns, you don't get a lot of people that stick around and want to work here. They move on to bigger cities, and with the aging population in this area, it's really become a challenge.
Although hiring trucking firms added to the cost, Tengen says he's grateful they were able to step up to help the co-op and community through a tight seasonal schedule. The University of Minnesota's Forever Green initiative is an effort to develop more crops that can stay in the ground year-round and convince farmers to plant them. The idea is to help make farmers more profitable while protecting the soil and water by putting perennial crops into annual cropping systems. Don Wise is an agronomy professor at the U of M and co-director of the Forever Green initiative. It's a partnership between lawmakers, companies, and producers. So far, researchers have developed 16 crops capable of thriving in the upper Midwest.
It is a story that's unique to Minnesota because of all of the partners willing to come forward and support the work for a long enough period of time to put real options on the landscape for farmers, rural communities, as well as end users.
State Senator Tory Westrom chairs the Senate Ag Committee. He says the project brings good value for growers and taxpayers.
That's why the investment from the state in the research and helping these market developments and ultimately helping the private sector flourish with the farmers leading the way.
The Forever Green Initiative was founded in 2012. Ahead on Ag Week TV, Mikkel Pates talks with Gary Tharaldson about the future of his ethanol plant after the death of COO Ryan Thorpe.
Small or large, Superior Grain Equipment has the storage, conditioning, and handling equipment to fit any size operation with a wide variety of options and accessories, including our patented Blockbuster auger to help break up blockages over the center sump gate, and a full line of mixed flow grain dryers with even heating, excellent efficiency, and expandable capacities. Protect your investment and market your grain. Get superior quality, protection, and reliability with Superior Grain Equipment.
You can get the field results you want in varying conditions with the flexibility of the Summers VRT Renegade. Featuring on-the-fly blade angle adjustment from 0 to 19 degrees. And if you want the simplicity of a super coulter with the ability to move a little dirt, you'll love the all-new Summers Super Coulter Samurai. Go to summersmfg.com or visit your local dealer to learn more about North America's broadest line of tillage equipment and other products from North Dakota-based Summers Manufacturing.
The boots are polished, and the bows are rosined. Voices are warmed, and the hats are donned. The stage is ready. So are we. We do this every night, just for you. The Medora Musical. Explore it, adore it, Medora.
All right, here's the free gift I got for opening up a checking account. Let's see what I got.
Okay guys, so I got this portable DVD player.
Yeah, I'm not sure why my bank would give me a tiny waffle maker.
So it's a tumbler, but it doesn't fit in any of my cup holders.
I wasn't even sure they still made these.
Is it for kids? Is this for kids?
Don't fall for the free gift. Find a bank that cares about what you really need. Cornerstone Bank.
I am Kevin Johnson, president of Gateway Building Systems. I started with Gateway back in 1974 on the construction side. The next year went into the office and sales, and in 1977 became part owner. We've got a great team of salespeople, designers, project managers. The key to Gateway is our people. Our customers appreciate the quality and reliability.
Tharaldson Company's founder, Gary Tharaldson, is well known as the wealthiest person in North Dakota. In light of the recent passing of Tharaldson Ethanol COO Ryan Thorpe, Ag Week's Mikkel Pates sat down with the well-known entrepreneur to get his thoughts on the tragedy, the future of the plant, and the ethanol industry.
Today we're talking about the loss of Ryan Thorpe, Chief Operating Officer for your company, an important person in ethanol and in your company in particular, isn't that right?
That's correct. He was the face of our company, really, and he's just a wonderful man, and it was a very tough loss. He had this personality that was A+, and not only that, he was smart. And he was fun to be around, you know, and it's a big change.
Is there any particular piece of this that you'd say his fingerprint will always be on because of his involvement in it?
I think where his fingerprint is on it is the relationship with all the other plants. Ryan was so proud of what we're doing out at the plant, and of course, Ryan's a big reason why the plant is what it is today.
Was this a surprise?
It was totally unexpected. The plant is going to, you know, continue to do really well because of his help in getting it done.
Tell me how the ethanol thing came into being?
What we did in the early days, all we did is make ethanol, and we sold the distillers' grains. Then about 5 years ago, we started adding corn oil as a product that we would be selling. Now we're transforming the ethanol plant into a biochemical plant. What that means is we're not going to depend on ethanol per se, but we're more interested in how we can create the byproduct, which would make it more stable. So the thing is, we're just adding an addition to the plant, where we'll take the distillers' grains and extract the protein meal from it, and then so we'll be able to sell protein to feeder cattle, birds, fish, and of course it should increase our profits by doing that. And the other thing, you're probably hearing a lot about the CO2, the carbon capture. So that's in place. The pipeline from Iowa to North Dakota is being in progress. Hopefully start building sometime next year. And we'll capture the CO2. We produce 570,000 tons of carbon a year. So, but now instead of going into the air, it'll be captured and put it in a pipeline.
Gary Thoroldson, North Dakota businessman and ethanol man, thank you for taking the time with us.
Thoroldson was known for owning a chain of 140 hotels, but sold them for more than $1 billion. He used some of the proceeds to build the ethanol plant in 2008. It's the time of year to enjoy fresh produce from the garden or a farmer's market. In this week's Ag Week cover story, Rose Dunn visited a small farm in west central Minnesota that loves to share its bounty.
No, I'm not from a farm background. I'm a town kid from East Grand Forks.
Ryan Pesch didn't grow up on a farm, but in college he became interested in the local food movement.
I just had an interest in farm. I got into kind of the food movement through the food co-op in St. Peter at Gustavus, something I wanted to explore after I graduated.
But after college, Ryan took a job as an extension educator for community development. That's what brought the Pesches to the Fergus Falls area. And in 2004, they bought this 20-acre parcel of rolling farmland near Lake Lida.
Once they start going, they really start going.
That first year, they sold 2 subscriptions to something new to the area, CSA produce boxes.
One big, one little. 2 random CSA members in 2004, and last year we had 124 members. People like them this size.
In addition to working at Lida Farm, Ryan's wife Mari is the interim manager at the Manna Food Co-op in Detroit Lakes. It's also where they drop off the weekly Lida Farm CSA boxes.
Ryan and I have the salad mix, green beans, and zucchini here for now.
Earlier this year, the co-op moved to a new high-visibility location in downtown Detroit Lakes, and they're working to bring more fresh, local, and organic products to the community, including some from Lida Farm.
If we have some gaps, or if we're long on something that we know would sell well, we bring it in. But we had a lot of beans this week, so I thought, I'm just gonna put our beans out because they're better than what I can get right now.
In addition to the CSA subscriptions and selling their produce at the Manna Food Co-op, the Pesches sell their produce at area farmers markets, and they keep this farm stand at the end of their driveway stocked 24 hours a day on the honor system.
I like a whole bunch of different ways of selling.
Near Pelican Rapids, Minnesota, this is Rose Dunn for Ag Week.
Lida Farm will be hosting the public at the Deep Roots Ag Festival on September 10th. You can read much more in the next Ag Week magazine or at agweek.com. Ahead on Ag Week TV, we'll show you how some growers are increasing yields while cutting costs.
Every season has an end. After spending your whole life building something, it can be hard to move on to your next stage in life. But when that time comes, you deserve to have someone you trust guide you through the process. And by trusting us to pass on your legacy, it gives someone else the chance to create their own. Every auction has a story. Let us share yours.
For over 130 years, Farmers Mutual of Nebraska has been providing protection from the unexpected. Farmers and ranchers choose Farmers Mutual insurance coverage for their industry experience, prompt claim service, and unmatched financial strength. Experience an insurance plan that's customized for your operation. Visit fmne.com to contact an agent for a quote today. Farmers Mutual of Nebraska, always alongside you.
I am Kevin Johnson, president of Gateway Building Systems. I started with Gateway back in 1974 on the construction side. The next year went into the office and sales, and in 1977 became part owner. We've got a great team of salespeople, designers, project managers. The key to Gateway is our people. Our customers appreciate the quality and reliability.
Systems way. Good work, good pay, in a good life, lets me live my way. Good work, good pay, in a good life, Trans Systems way. Good work, good pay, in a good life, lets me live my way. It's Trans Systems way. Good work.
Go beyond the headlines with an Ag Week membership. Get in-depth agribusiness reporting, original farm and ranch stories, and fact-based research for the most comprehensive ag news in the upper Midwest. Experienced ag journalists bring you exclusive ag news, insights, and policy updates you won't find anywhere else. Become a member today and get unlimited access to Ag Week and Ag Week TV.
Is the region avoiding drought despite dry conditions? Here's John with our AgriWeather Outlook.
It has been and continues to be unquestionably a warm and dry summer, but despite the fact that we've had a number of powerful high-pressure ridges build up into the Middle West and parts of the Great Plains, most agricultural regions have really avoided extreme agricultural drought. If anything, last summer was worse than this summer. We have had a lot of warm weather, and it's been generally warmer than average over most of the U.S., especially the agricultural areas east of the Rocky Mountains. And the scattered precipitation pattern that we've had this summer, fairly typical of summertime patterns. Storms are here and there, but not where you want them to be at the right times. Is generally left areas with just enough rain to get by, or in, of course, some cases a little too much. Here is a look at the month of July and the percentage of normal rainfall. By normal, we mean the average over the last 30 years. The cool colors on the map, the blues and the greens, are where there's been more rainfall than what has fallen on average over the last 30 years. The yellows and the oranges are where it's been a little drier than average. It's been quite dry down in Texas, and of course the western United States continues to be in an extreme drought. And Texas is getting awfully dry, but it is summertime in Texas. Crops not as reliant on moisture. It's more winter crops down there or summer crops that are used to drought. You can see the evidence of those recent extreme floods, from the ones in St. Louis to the ones in eastern Kentucky to the ones that fell again down through southern Illinois. But that's really fairly an isolated thing. For the most part, moisture conditions are not that bad. It will continue to be warmer than average over the Corn Belt this week. A little bit of a brief dip this weekend into slightly cooler weather across the far north, but the general pattern is going to be mostly warmer than average. The real hot weather, the 90s, the 100s, mostly 90s actually, is going to be down where hot weather is typically found this time of year in the southern and central states. That's not really going to be changing very much. We'll get a few forays of 90-degree weather and a few hot days up into the northern plains, but it looks like it's never really going to stick around and stay persistently that hot underneath this weather pattern. Moving into the second week, I really don't see a general change in the overall jet stream pattern. It will likely continue to be a warmer than average summer, Great Plains, Central Plains, most of the eastern Corn Belt, but not really for the most part unusually so. Precipitation this week will be scattered across the eastern Corn Belt. Southern Canada will continue to have a fairly wet year. It will continue to be fairly dry into the Great Plains, including a little drier than average in the northern Great Plains. And the second week of the period will continue to be quite dry, or at least drier than average, with the eastern part of the country remaining a little on the wet side. But if we can keep those timely rains coming, we should be okay rain-wise.
Hi, Bill Kelsey here, Geringhoff Territory Manager, covering northern Minnesota and the Dakotas. At Geringhoff, we offer a full line of the best harvest headers and residue management systems on the market. Contact me today to discuss your farm's needs. From there, I'll connect you with an authorized Geringhoff dealer.
Every season has an end. After spending your whole life building something, it can be hard to move on to your next stage in life. But when that time comes, you deserve to have someone you trust guide you through the process. And by trusting us to pass on your legacy, it gives someone else the chance to create their own. Every auction has a story. Let us share yours.
Small or large, Superior Grain Equipment has the storage, conditioning, and handling equipment to fit any size operation with a wide variety of options and accessories, including our patented Blockbuster auger to help break up blockages over the center sump gate, and a full line of mixed flow grain dryers with even heating, excellent efficiency, and expandable capacities. Protect your investment and market your grain. Get superior quality, protection, and reliability with Superior Grain Equipment.
It's going to be an interesting year in agriculture. We have already seen the markets trade to new crop highs and levels not seen in years. There is uncertainty around the 2022 growing season. Will drought impact production? How many acres will be switched? And will demand remain strong? Are you getting the information you need to make the right marketing decisions? With the changing market environment, maybe it's time to change how you approach your grain marketing. Let Martinson Ag Risk Management get you the news that matters and a marketing plan that suits your needs.
For Ag Week, this is Mikkel Pates at Watertown, South Dakota.
We'll look at the positive impacts that dairy can have on the community. A Minnesota couple has put a grain bin to a new use. Spoiler alert, it's not grain. This elaborate system of tubing with the downhill slope is how Maplewood State Park gathers sap to make syrup.
Thanks for watching Ag Week TV. Remember, for all your ag news, go to agweek.com and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Many producers are looking for ways to decrease their input costs without their crops and yields taking a hit. The rising cost of fertilizer is taking a toll on farmers' wallets, but one way to cut that cost is to use nano-liquid technology for a more efficient delivery of nutrients to the soil. I visited with a farmer in Davenport, North Dakota, who uses this nano-liquid technology on his own acres. Today I'm with Brad Kellerman, who farms in Davenport, North Dakota, and today we are going to be talking about AquaYield. So how long have you been using AquaYield?
Approximately 4 years. Being interested in the biological side of farming, it seemed to fit in with what I was trying to do. The use rate is like 4 ounces an acre, which is a very low use rate. Being able to talk with the company people that actually develop the product directly, I appreciate their time and their willingness to share that information.
And what are some of those products that you switched to from conventional to that nano-liquid technology?
You know, there's different nano products, and Nano K, Nano Pack are a few that we've used. We've started using the Nano CS for in-furrow starter fertilizer, which in soybeans is something fairly new for me. We've never used the starter fertilizer in soybeans before.
And as you're looking at the results, how have they been, and has that impacted your overall input costs?
I've been encouraged because it seems like I continue to learn more. So I consider it another tool in the toolbox that works very well in combination with many other things. So.
And if you were to talk to a producer that's kind of on the fence about using this product, what would you say to them?
The flexibility and the ease of use of many different products I've used over the years, it just seems to fit really well, and I just haven't had any mixing issues or anything like that. So we'll cut the use rate of say like a standard starter, but it works out well.
So how has this nano-liquid technology impacted your yield?
Yield-wise, what I look for is, I look for a return, not necessarily just $1 per acre investment, but how much does it cost me per bushel to produce? And that's really what I'm looking for. It's an ongoing process. I'm definitely on the road to use this and make it work because it shows promise to me.
To learn more about how AquaYield works, contact Jim Erickson at ECO at the number or email on your screen. Still ahead on Ag Week TV, it's not all business at Farmfest. We'll show you some of the fun.
The team at North Star Ag is committed to quality and committed to you. We're not just a full-service dealer, we're farmers too, so we know you need the best machinery and services that'll keep you going all season long. We have the largest equipment inventory in the upper Midwest with a well-equipped parts and service department. So whether you need machinery tomorrow or parts today, stop in and experience what North Star Ag can offer on our website at northstar-ag.com or give us a call at 701-361-4790.
You're invited to the second annual Open Forum meeting for Aqua Yield and Calcine, Tuesday, August 9th from 8 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. at the Holiday Inn in Fargo, North Dakota. Speakers include Jim Krebsbach and Warren Bell from Aqua Yield, as well as Tom Vanderheiden and Keith Caton from Calcine. Refreshments will be served. We look forward to seeing you there. For more information, contact Erickson Custom Operations.
Don't miss out on the equipment you'll need next season. Titan Machinery, your local Case IH dealer, has early order discounts on its full line of powerful, efficient, new Case IH equipment, including tractors, combines, and self-propelled sprayers. Get a great deal and ensure that you have the latest in productivity and technology. Supply chains are tight. Contact your Titan Machinery dealership today and find out how much you can save by ordering ahead. Titan Machinery, your local Case IH equipment experts.
It's summertime, and that means it's time for Farmfest. Join us for more of what you love, August 2nd through the 4th. Farmfest brings you more demonstrations, family entertainment, food vendors, and exhibits. Take in the Farmfest forums and visit the seed plots, ride and drive demonstrations, and new networking lounge with live music and refreshments. See for yourself at Farmfest, August 2nd through the 4th. For tickets, visit farmfest.com. Network, learn, grow, and experience more at Farmfest.
Attention farmers and farming communities. The herbicide Paraquat has been linked to Parkinson's disease. Paraquat, also known as Chromoxone, is still being used in the U.S. on corn, soy, and wheat crops and puts farm workers in danger. Producers across the country have filed lawsuits claiming that Paraquat caused their Parkinson's disease and that the manufacturer failed to warn about the chemical's risk of neurological damage. If you or a loved one was diagnosed with Parkinson's after direct or indirect exposure to Paraquat, call or visit solberglaw.com.
Minnesota's Farmfest wasn't just about issues, new products, and making connections. It was also about fun. 4-H and FFA groups throughout the state were encouraged to build hay bale art to benefit their organizations. The top creations were auctioned off at Farmfest, with the proceeds going to the groups that created them. There was also the ever-popular kids' pedal pull races. Kids ages 4 to 11 pedaled the weighted sled as far as they could, with hopes of advancing to the state finals in Fairmont. Stories you'll only see on agweek.com and in Ag Week magazine this week. We'll check on the progress of the U.S. sugar beet crop, and we'll visit a Red River Valley farm that's providing quality genetics for the area's show goat scene. We appreciate you watching Ag Week TV. Remember to check us out daily on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok to keep up on all your ag news. Have a great week.